In the heart of the Bini kingdom, there lived a wealthy merchant named Oba. Known far and wide for his generosity and prosperity, Oba was admired by all. His success in trade was matched only by his kindness towards others. His marriage to Ahai, the daughter of Idia, the kingdom's revered bead goddess, was a grand affair that captivated everyone in the land. The wedding was a celebration of epic proportions. The entire kingdom buzzed with excitement as colorful fabrics draped the streets, and music filled the air. The people of the kingdom came together to witness the union of Oba and Ahai. Among the many gifts and blessings bestowed upon the couple was a young servant girl named Ao. Ao was given to Ahai with a clear instruction from Idia to treat her kindly, as she had been a part of the family service. At first, Ahai welcomed Ao into her home with warmth and affection. She treated Ao more like a younger sister than a servant. Ao, grateful for this kindness, worked diligently, always striving to make her mistress happy. Their days were filled with laughter and shared moments of joy, making the grand house of Oba a place of happiness and contentment. As the months passed, the once happy home began to change. Ahai became pregnant, and the anticipation of their first child brought a new sense of excitement. However, this joy was short-lived. As her pregnancy advanced, Ahai's demeanor began to shift. She became increasingly irritable and started treating Ao with growing disdain. The tasks that Ao once performed with ease now became burdensome. Ahai sent her out in the scorching sun to fetch water from the river or to gather firewood. On some days, Ahai even refused to provide Ao with food, leaving her to fend for herself. The once warm and supportive atmosphere of the home turned into one of harshness and neglect. The birth of Ahai's child was a tragic event. The joyous occasion turned into a time of mourning when Ahai lost her baby. Overwhelmed with grief and heartache, Ahai searched for someone to blame for her misfortune. Her sorrow turned into anger, and she unjustly accused Ao of bringing bad luck into her life. Ao, despite her innocence, was forced to endure the relentless blame and harsh treatment. Even after Ahai gave birth to 2 beautiful daughters and a son, she continued to harbor resentment towards Ao for the loss of her first child. Ao's life became a relentless cycle of hard work and emotional suffering, but she remained steadfast, holding on to the hope that her situation might someday improve. One sunny afternoon, Ahai sent Ao on an errand to the bustling village square. The square was alive with activity as merchants sold their goods, and villagers went about their daily tasks. Ao, burdened by her heavy load, walked with a weariness that showed on her face. Little did she know that this errand would mark the beginning of a significant change in her life. As Ao navigated through the crowded square, she caught the attention of Prince Id, the only son of the king. Known throughout the kingdom for his kindness and wisdom, Prince Id was deeply moved by the sight of Ao's exhaustion and struggle. He approached her with genuine concern, his voice gentle yet commanding. "Young lady," Prince Id called out, "why are you working so hard under this scorching sun?" Ao looked up, startled to be addressed by the prince. With a trembling voice, she introduced herself and explained that she was running an errand for her mistress. Prince Id could see that Ao's troubles went beyond mere exhaustion. However, he chose not to press her further at that moment. Instead, he asked Ao to meet him at the same place the next day as the sun began to set. Despite her apprehension, Ao was drawn to the kindness in the prince's eyes and agreed to meet him, unaware that this encounter would alter the course of her life. When Ao returned home, she was met with Ahai's furious anger. Ahai's rage was a stark contrast to the prince's kindness. She demanded to know why Ao was late and, in a fit of temper, ordered her to leave the house. Ao was devastated, pleading for mercy, but Ahai's heart remained unmoved. With no place to go and nowhere to turn, Ao took her small, worn belongings and left the only home she had known. As night fell, she wandered aimlessly, the weight of her loneliness pressing heavily upon her. She eventually found refuge in an abandoned hut on the outskirts of the village, her mind racing with uncertainty and fear about the future. The following morning, Ao continued her journey, still uncertain of her destination. As fate would have it, she encountered Prince Id once again. Seeing her distress, the prince stopped to listen as Ao poured out her heart, sharing the story of her harsh treatment and sudden dismissal. Moved by her plight and struck by her resilience, Prince Id offered Eo a chance to come to the palace. He promised her safety and a place where she could start anew. Desperate for a glimmer of hope, Eo accepted the prince's offer, and together they journeyed to the Grand Palace, a place Eo had only dreamed of seeing. Upon arrival at the palace, Eo was greeted with kindness and respect. She was given beautiful clothes to replace her tattered ones and a comfortable room to stay in. The palace staff welcomed her warmly, and Eo felt a sense of relief and safety that she hadn't experienced in a long time. As the days turned into weeks, Eo adjusted to her new life in the palace. She worked alongside other servants but stood out due to her exceptional kindness and intelligence. Her genuine nature quickly earned her the respect and admiration of those around her, including Prince Id, who found himself increasingly drawn to her. As time passed, Eo's presence in the palace became more prominent. Her hard work and dedication did not go unnoticed, especially by Prince Id. They spent more time together, and the prince was captivated by Eo's spirit and grace. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day as they shared stories and enjoyed moments in the palace gardens. Prince Id was impressed by Eo's strength and resilience. Despite her difficult past, she carried herself with dignity and kindness. Eo, in turn, was moved by the prince's genuine concern and the respect he showed her. Their connection deepened, and they began to envision a future together. One evening, as the stars twinkled in the night sky, Prince Id took Eo to a secluded part of the palace gardens. Under the serene canopy of stars, the prince gathered his courage and made a heartfelt proposal. He expressed his love for Eo and his desire to marry her, not as a servant but as his queen. Eo was overwhelmed with emotion. The prince's proposal was a dream come true, one she had never dared to hope for. After a moment of stunned silence, Eo accepted, her heart overflowing with love and gratitude. The news of their engagement spread quickly, filling the kingdom with joy and excitement. As preparations for the royal wedding continued, Ahai learned of Eo's new position. Enraged and unable to accept that her former servant was to become queen, Ahai's jealousy consumed her. She plotted to sabotage Eo's happiness and ruin the joyous occasion. Ahai began spreading false rumors about Eo, attempting to tarnish her reputation. She whispered lies to the palace staff and nobles, hoping to create doubts about Eo's character. Despite Ahai's efforts, the truth of Eo's kindness and integrity was well known, and her reputation remained intact. Frustrated by her failed attempts to discredit Eo, Ahai devised a more sinister plan. She decided to poison Prince Id and frame Eo for the crime. Ahai enlisted a servant to carry out her scheme, instructing the servant to poison the prince's food. However, the servant, remembering Eo's past kindness, could not follow through with the malicious plan. Instead, she replaced the poison with a harmless substance that would only cause the prince to fall into a deep sleep, mimicking death. The plan was set in motion with Eo unknowingly serving the tainted food to the prince. The poisoned food caused Prince Id to fall into an unresponsive slumber. The entire kingdom was thrown into turmoil as news of the prince's condition spread. Eo was devastated, believing she had lost everything she had gained. Ahai watched with a sense of triumph, believing her plan had succeeded. However, the prince's deep sleep was not permanent. After 2 days, a miracle occurred. Prince Id awoke, much to the relief and joy of the kingdom. An investigation was launched to uncover the truth behind the prince's mysterious condition. The investigation uncovered Ahai's deceitful plot. The servant who had replaced the poison came forward, confessing the entire scheme. Ahai was exposed and faced the consequences of her actions. The kingdom was shocked by the revelation but also relieved to see justice served. Eo was cleared of any wrongdoing, and her reputation was further solidified by the truth. The prince's miraculous recovery was celebrated, and the kingdom rejoiced in the triumph of good over evil. The wedding preparations resumed with renewed vigor, and the love between Eo and Prince Id continued to grow. The long-awaited wedding day arrived, and the palace was transformed into a place of splendor and joy. The streets of the kingdom were lined with colorful banners, and the air was filled with the sounds of celebration. The people of the kingdom eagerly anticipated the royal wedding, which had become a symbol of hope and happiness. Eo, now dressed in exquisite royal attire, walked down the aisle alongside Prince Id. The ceremony was a beautiful and emotional occasion, marked by heartfelt vows and promises of love. The kingdom celebrated as the new queen and prince were officially united, and their love story became a cherished legend. As King Id and Queen Eo took their place in the palace, their reign began with a focus on kindness and justice. They worked together to improve the lives of their people, ensuring that everyone in the kingdom was treated with fairness and respect. Queen Eo used her position to advocate for the less fortunate, drawing on her own experiences to make a positive impact. Under their rule, the Bini kingdom flourished. The people admired their leaders not just for their wisdom but for their genuine compassion and dedication. The once troubled kingdom was now a beacon of prosperity and harmony, reflecting the values that King Id and Queen Eo held dear. Shortly after their wedding, a devastating fire broke out in a neighboring village. The fire left many families homeless and in desperate need of assistance. Among those affected was Ahai, who had lost everything in the blaze. In her time of need, Ahai sought help from the palace. She was met with the queen she had wronged, facing the very person she had tried to destroy. Despite the pain Ahai had caused her, Queen Eo showed compassion and extended a helping hand. Queen Eo's act of forgiveness was a turning point for Ahai. The former antagonist was deeply moved by Eo's kindness and the support she received from the palace. Ahai vowed to change her ways and work towards redemption, promising to help others in need as she had been helped. The court was impressed by Eo's decision, and the story of forgiveness spread throughout the kingdom. It became a lesson in the power of compassion and the possibility of change, even for those who had once acted with malice. King Id and Queen Eo's reign continued to be marked by prosperity and peace. Their love for each other and their dedication to their people created a lasting legacy. The kingdom thrived under their guidance, and their story became a source of inspiration for generations to come. As they grew older, King Id and Queen Eo remained beloved figures in the kingdom. Their reign was remembered as a time of great progress and unity, and their story was told to children as a testament to the enduring power of love and kindness. In the final years of their reign, King Id and Queen Eo reflected on their journey together. They looked back with pride at the positive changes they had brought to their kingdom and the lives they had touched. Their story was celebrated not just for its romance but for its message of resilience and redemption. When the time came for them to pass on their roles, the kingdom continued to prosper, guided by the principles of justice and compassion that King Id and Queen Eo had instilled. Their legacy lived on, reminding everyone of the importance of kindness and the strength of the human spirit.